Welcome to another episode of the Kanji Low Podcast, and we dive every week into AI, technology, and business insights that will help you further your journey in this world of technology and life. My name is Kanji Low, and I really love to just share what's going on in the landscape, what I see, and obviously there are certain things that come out of my own experience that I would love to share with all of you. So I want to talk about this notion of authority. And authority is quite an interesting word because when you see people that are in a place of authority, whether it's politicians, it's presidents, celebrities, influencers, people that are tycoons, billionaires, millionaires, business leaders, you start to realize that there's not just a status. It is more of an energy. And what I mean by that is it's an energy of light. And when you go out to the world, whether you're promoting your business, whether you're going out there and building a personal brand, it's always the energy first. When you walk into a room, people feel how you're meant to be feeling. If you're feeling down or you're feeling like you're needy of something, people feel that because it's the vibe, you could say, that's behind everything. When you go in there and you feel like, I don't need anyone, and you're in there just to express, to give, to just be yourself, really, you start to attract people that like you for you. And I've had so many different interactions where I've seen both parts, right? One part you see that you're needy, the other part that you don't need, but you are just simply being. And you can see it in animals, you can see it in children, you can see it with plants as well, that they don't need to chase for any approval. They don't need to say that they're this good so that they can be liked by someone else. They simply are. They simply just are there. And we appreciate them just as much, right? Like you see a pet come up to you, maybe it's a dog or a cat, you appreciate them because they're not asking for attention. They're just being. And it's the same with how we are. So maybe a question to ask yourself is, where am I still needing that validation? And you can see many parts of your life. If you are talking about it, if you're approaching people from a lens that you need some sort of validation through a certain topic, whether it's a career, whether it's relationships, whether it's money, whether it's family, whether it's your health, any one of them can show you exactly where you are feeling like you need to be validated. And then from there, you can start moving a bit differently because now you're aware about it. Like, oh, that's funny. Like, why do I need to do these certain things to get this outcome when I can just simply just do this, whatever this is, whatever you're guided to do, that action will lead you towards what it is that you're meant to be doing. And that step will be beautiful. So we tend to try and impress people. Just shared a quote just now. It was like, the more that you try to impress others, the less impressive that you are, right? If you don't need to impress someone, they actually come to you because you're just being yourself. You'll just notice the next time you go into a networking event, are you trying to make a conversation? Are you trying to, please others and say things so they don't feel hurt, or you're not truthful about a certain question or opinion that they have? Are you trying to seek something? And then in those moments, you actually draw in that authority. So that's the first step. It's just noticing wherever it is in your life that you're still needing that validation. And once you can identify that, you can start peeling off those layers to find that actually I don't need, that person, or I don't need that thing. I don't need that opportunity. If that opportunity is meant for me, I'll still go for it. I'll still take action, and it will end up being the most beautiful outcome for you. So that's the first step. The second step to I would say a lot of the time we're all in our head, right? And this leads to my second point. So we tend to feel as though, we overthink certain steps. Maybe you're starting something, maybe you're scaling a certain aspect of the business, maybe you're diving into AI tools or AI systems. From those steps that you're about to take, how often do you kind of linger in your head? You kind of ponder, is this the right thing? And you don't take that next step. A lot of the time we stay there. And the reason why is because we don't know what it feels like to fail continuously, right? And we are scared of the outcome of what happens when we do. My question to you is, if we are failing, who are we failing to, right? Is it the standard that we set for ourselves? Is it the expectation that we set for ourselves? Because every time that we have an expectation of something, it will always lead to disappointment, right? But if you just took that step, not knowing what it might lead to, or you have the complete certainty that it will lead to the most beautiful thing, wouldn't you take that step? So that's the second thing when it comes to building, you could say, authority or having that authoritative energy, is just to take that next step, whatever that step may be, right? And take it from the lens of the greatest version of yourself. Like imagine the greatest version of yourself where, things just happen easy. You know that this is the way to do it. There's no lack, there's no validation, there's no neediness, there's nothing that you need. But you come from a place where you're able to just share whatever that insight is, and you feel that you're just certain. That's what authoritative energy is, right? Being an authority is just, they're just certain. Why do so many people listen to, influencers or, the business minds and the business leaders, whoever's in the industry? It's because they have that certainty. They have that certainty in whatever it is that they're giving. So for example, Alex Hormozi, he is a business leader, right? He has a lot of certainty when it comes to business and scaling companies and helping other people scale. When it comes to motivation, when it comes to inspiration, you can look at Tony Robbins, for example. He's made so much money through inspiring others to be their greatest version of themselves. But where the line is drawn is not that we admire or grab the certainty of the individual. It's actually the certainty and energy that's behind not just the actions, but the energy, right? Like if you really look at it, like who to you is the most certain being? It's not any of us, right? Like whoever you believe in, right? It could be the universe, the God. If you don't believe in anyone, like who's the most certain thing that you can think of? That is what we should be emulating. And that authority actually comes from that. So that's how you become the authority in your space. You need to lean into failure, and failure is just really that next opportunity, because who are you failing to? You're not really failing to anyone. It's just standards that you set for yourself, and you're kind of scared of the pain that comes from making that move. But there's always going to be something that you learn from it or something that you do gain from it. And who knows, like the biggest failure might be that you make that deal. So in saying that, that's the first step, right? The first step is to notice where you're still needing it, like whatever it is externally. Second step is to identify where it is that you want to take that next step and the most appropriate intuitive step to take. And then the third step is to emulate and become your own authority through understanding the greatest version of what that certainty feels like to you. If you can tackle all three, no matter what space you're in, whether it's AI, whether it's construction, plumbing, whether it's real estate, finance, you can be that authority. It's the results that you get for other people too. So in giving back to others, right, in giving, right, you could say not taking, but giving, you also reveal a lot to yourself. A lot of the times we do take, right? It's like the body needs this, we'll take from this because our body needs it. So my body needs food, I'm hungry, so it's taking to get food, right? My mind is trying to take that information so that I can learn the information and implement it in my business. So the energy behind whatever it is external to you is always from a taking energy. But what if you were able to give instead? And when you give, don't give from a place of lack. Because when you do, you tend to come from resentment. You resent the person. Oh, you're giving them so much. Like, how come they never give back to me? That's the mindset that normally comes from when you're giving from a place of lack, is resentment. So always come from a place of giving from abundance and knowing that when you give, doesn't matter if you get anything, you probably might not, but that is true giving. That becomes your step to becoming an authority figure. And it really just takes one thing, really. So it takes you going into that tool or that system. So for example, how I got into AI, right? That's the funniest thing. I was amazed by ChatGPT, but being amazed by ChatGPT is one thing, but I started just learning everything about it, learning how it responds, learning what kind of ways I can talk to it, learning the different types of systems that it can plug into, the use cases, how businesses and corporations are using it. And the funniest thing is that as I started just, delving into it, I got asked to speak overseas on ChatGPT and to host the event, which was quite funny because at that time I didn't know much about it. All I did was I was just very curious of what this technology could do for me and how I could use it to help other people. And from there, it just became a snowball effect. Event after event after event, I started building a name for myself. But the thing is that I've always been there. I've always been in technology for quite a long time. I've been in technology and learning about, project management, that kind of thing since 2016, even before that, right? But it's taking that first step, right? I didn't expect that it would end up like this and I would continue doing it. It just happened. And it happened because I was moving as that person before it even came. So I moved as the person who already knew about ChatGPT. And as I'm teaching and as I'm sharing, I learn as well. And that's the key. It's like we tend to just learn. And everyone's learning style is different. You might be auditory, you might be, kinesthetic. You might even just look at things and have a photographic memory and you might learn that. Some people teach. And for me, teaching was something that helped me with learning things quickly. So that's how you become an authority figure, is that you do things that are uncomfortable to your current character. The current character you're thinking, things aren't moving. How can I be this person? Right? And you're always asking questions. How do I do it? How do I do it? Rather than just moving as that person first and then letting the solutions come to you as you take that next step. Rumi, the famous philosopher Rumi, says that when you walk the way appears. So it happens the same thing in anything in your life, not just in businesses. As you start taking that next step, you start realizing, hey, this is the thing I need to do. This investor I need to talk to. This is the app, or this is the person I need to hire. I'm missing this skill set. What do I do? So a lot of the time we don't walk it because we're scared. We're fearful of what the outcome may be, and we're looking for something and we're taking. So in summary, how to be an authority figure is to first not need anything from it, the external. You don't need that thing. You don't need that person. But as long as you know that you're whole and complete inside, you can start moving. Until you get to that point, no matter what you do, there will be circumstances that will make you end up whole and complete so that you don't rely on anyone and then you just move. The second step is to understand that it is necessary to walk, fail. And when I say fail, not to struggle, but to move, to take that next step, to understand, to learn, to observe, and to get feedback so that you can keep moving. And the third thing is to understand that you're already that authority figure, right? Emulate people who are moving with that energy, right? If you're not too sure what that person is, what's that version of them that you could be? Not to copy them completely, not to copy their actions, but what's the energy that's behind that? So that's how you can become an authority figure in any industry, really. And the thing is that you might not need to know everything about that tool or that system or that concept. But as long as you're getting results for other people, as long as you're the example of your own words and your own actions, it always happens where you can start moving as that. And the thing is, you don't need to wait for anyone else's permission. Stop waiting. Stop waiting for other people to validate that you can be this thing. I know many times in my life, I played so small because of the fact that I'm waiting for other people to be like, hey, Kanji, you're amazing. Or, hey, Kanji, I see you and respect you. I don't need that, right? Just like you don't need to. So that's it for this episode. I hope you got a lot of value out of this, and be sure to follow, like, and share this podcast if you have found that this is very valuable to you. Because I know that for me, I would have liked to have something like this when I was going through my own journey. So feel free to share this. And yeah, I'm excited to see what comes out every week because everything's different. Things are moving so quickly. If you want to become part of the revolution and even disruption of industries, is to actually take a step and just know that you just need to do something and implement something, right? I always say to those that are scared of posting on social media, post something, just post something. And it doesn't have to be where you're too closed off to just do what you're meant to be doing and to be the greatest version of who you're meant to be. So I'll catch you in the next one. Thank you so much. And yeah, leave it at that.